candidate will be presented by Dr. Thaddeus Garrett, Jr., Member, Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the Honorable Walter H. Annenberg to receive at your hand the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Walter H. Annenberg, editor, publisher, broadcaster, diplomat, and philanthropist. Throughout your life, you have demonstrated in a remarkable way the adage that it takes one individual to make a difference. In all your endeavors, you have touched and literally transformed the lives of countless numbers of individuals. Always a pathfinder, you have coupled your vision of future possibilities with an unrelenting conscience and a deep, abiding spirit of generosity. A little more than half a year ago, when you entered the family publishing business in Philadelphia, you became president of Triangle Publications and subsequently chairman of the board. While serving as editor and publisher of the Philadelphia Inquirer, you saw the need for a publication for teenage girls. And in 1944, you established 17 magazines. In 1953, as a result of your belief that television's growth would create a demand for more information for viewers, you established TV Guide as a national publication. In the early 1940s, Triangle Publications bought a radio station in Philadelphia and built a VHF station also. In the years following, the radio station division of Triangle grew to include 6 AM and 6 FM stations, as well as 6 television stations. You also were a pioneer in presenting educational programs on television, receiving major awards for your efforts. Across this nation, because of your steadfast interest and devotion to excellence, students have the opportunity to study at institutions that you have founded. The Annenberg School of Communication at the University of Pennsylvania, established in 1958, and the Annenberg School of Communication at the University of Southern California, established in 1971. In 1983, the Annenberg Schools launched the Washington Program in Communications Policy Studies in response to the growing awareness that difficult government and industry problems were emerging in a rapidly changing telecommunications field. In the highest true spirit of philanthropy, you have given millions of dollars to educational institutions and educational programs, including Howard University, United Negro College Fund, and the Penny School, your alma mater. Howard University is forever grateful for your generosity. In 1986, my friends, Dr. Annenberg gave Howard University $2 million, one of the largest gifts in the history of this university from a single individual. He gave this gift to establish the Walter H. Annenberg Distinguished Chair in Communications and to create endowed scholars in the School of Communications. Wherever you journey, you leave an indelible mark. And as a result, many lives have been enriched. You were named United States Ambassador to the Court of St. James in 1968, served in Great Britain until 1974. The list of your awards, citations, and honorary degrees from organizations both in this country and abroad underlies the ideal that the individual may find a broad and satisfying public expression in the service of the people. These honors and awards include the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Finland's Order of the Line, and being named Honorary Knight Commander, Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II. Walter H. Annenberg, in recognition of your magnificent record of leadership and of your untiring efforts on behalf of so many, Howard University takes great pride in honoring you this day. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I do now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, and admit you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this high degree and present you with the diploma and citation. Congratulations.
For the degree Doctor of Humanities, Dr. James E. Cheek. The candidate will be presented by Dr. Earl G. Graves, member, Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Dr. James E. Cheek to receive at your hand the honorary degree Doctor of Humanities.
James Edward Cheek, Howard University proudly and joyfully welcomes you home today. We take great pride in honoring you this day for your distinguished service to this university. For the services you rendered are a keystone that in all likelihood will not be matched in a lifetime. From 1969 to 1989, the university grew from 11 to 18 schools and colleges, and the number of major institutes and research centers increased from 1 to 9. The university's operating budget increased from 30 million to over 300 million, and more than 33,000 degrees and diplomas were awarded during your time. And I will note, my friends, something that is very special to me, and I hope to all of you who are out there today. I did some preliminary calculations over the last 2 days, and I'm convinced that Dr. Cheek has conferred more degrees on African Americans than any individual in the history of this world, and no one will ever surpass that record. The stunning reality of your accomplishments is an indication of your deep and long-lasting commitment to serve humanity. Having earned the universal respect of your colleagues and peers and generations of students, faculty, and staff, you embody the idea that deeds, strengthened by conviction, bring new dignity to the ennobling nature of education and service to humankind. Moreover, when you arrived on this campus, the university operated on only one site. During your presidency, 3 other sites were added, including campuses for the law school and the divinity school and Acreage in Beltsville, Maryland. New construction and acquisition of facilities were included.
Okay, I get it.
The Howard University Hospital, the Armour J. Blackburn University Center, the University Undergraduate Library Facility, the Howard Plaza, the School of Business, the Cancer Center, the Center for Sickle Cell Disease, WHMM-TV, WHUR-FM, and the Howard University Hotel. You also have been known far and wide as a strong advocate for the nation's historical black colleges and universities. In one of your most memorable speeches, you called these institutions impregnable defenders of our rights, the symbolic and realistic expression of our culture and identity, an eloquent testimony to the lie that we are inherently and generically inferior. These institutions, as you reminded us, represent oases in America's desert of oppression. Unquote. This commitment to these institutions is reflected by your exemplary service as chairman of the President's Board of Advisors on Historical Black Colleges and Universities from 1990 to 1993. And the leadership you demonstrated in garnering support for Fisk University when its future was in danger. And in a host of other efforts on behalf of these precious national resources. In recognition of your splendid, brilliant dedication to the highest endeavors, you have been awarded and received 18 honorary doctorate degrees. And in 1983, you were awarded this nation's highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. James Edward Cheek, you have continued to set the standard in securing the continuity and development of our rich culture and heritage. Therefore, in the words you know so well, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I do now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa, and admit you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this high degree and present you with the diploma and citation.
For the degree Doctor of Laws, General Colin L. Powell. The candidate will be presented by Dr. Wayman F. Smith III, Chairman, Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, I have the high honor to present to you General Colin L. Powell to receive in your hands the honorary degree of Doctorate of Laws.
Colin L. Powell, Howard University joins a legion of organizations, institutions, governments, and citizens in honoring you this day. In the 35 years since your commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army, you have forged a magnificent career in the service of this nation. The high mark of leadership has ever been upon you, and that mark has always been accompanied by your deepest convictions and beliefs. After your completion of Infantry Officers Basic Training, Airborne and Ranger School, you were assigned to Germany, where you served as a platoon leader, executive officer, and rifle company commander. In the latter months of 1962, you went to Vietnam, where you served as an advisor to Vietnamese infantry battalion. You returned in 1968 to Vietnam, where you served as an infantry battalion executive officer and assistant chief of staff, G3 23rd Infantry Division. You also served a tour of duty in Korea. Through the years, your military awards and decorations offer eloquent testimony to your courage, that quality that redeems the human spirit. They include the Defense Distinguished Service Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters, the Distinguished Service Medal of the Army, the Defense Superior Service Medal, the Legion of Merit with oak leaf clusters, the Soldier's Medal, the Bronze Star Medal, the Purple Heart, Air Medal, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, and the Army Commendation Medal with 2 opening clusters. Between your tours of service to this great nation, with progressively higher command assignments, you earned the Masters of Business Administration from George Washington University in 1971, and in 1972 you were elected to be a White House Fellow. You have committed your life to the propagation of freedom for all. And in that light, you also served as Assistant Division Commander for Operations and Training, 4th Infantry Division at Fort Carson, Colorado, and a Senior Military Assistant to the Secretary of Defense. You also saw duty as Senior Military Assistant to the Deputy Secretary of Defense and the Executive Assistant to the Secretary of Energy in 1983. And in 1986, as Commander of the 5th U.S. Corps in Frankfurt, Federal Republic of Germany. In 1989, the President of the United States appointed you the 12th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And in 1991, you were reappointed to a 2nd term. My friends, did he not make us so proud? The sheer brilliance of your leadership will be forever etched in the history of this country, in the hearts and minds of all Americans, and especially African Americans. Because of your unswerving devotion to the cause of freedom and your determination and commitment to preserve and to protect the lives of citizens of this country, you were the recipient of the President's Medal of Freedom, the President's Citizens Medal, the Secretary of State Distinguished Service Medal, and the Secretary of Energy Distinguished Service Medal. Colin L. Powell, Howard University takes great pride in honoring you for your achievement, and particularly for your courage and your courageous efforts to advance the cause of justice and freedom. Therefore, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I do now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and admit to you all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this high degree and present you with this diploma and citation. L. Powell.
1994 Oracle. Dr. Colin L. Powell.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for your very warm reception, and thank you, Mr. President, for your kind introduction. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, members of the Board of Trustees, fellow honorees, members of the Alumni Association, faculty members, parents and family members, and of course, the great Howard graduating class of 1994. I am so very, very pleased to be with you on this beautiful spring morning, and I am deeply honored to be the recipient of an honorary degree alongside two gentlemen as distinguished as Dr. Cheek and Ambassador Annenberg. And for that, I thank the university and the Board of Trustees. Let me also take this opportunity to extend my congratulations to President and Mrs. Jennifer for their service to Howard University, and to wish them every success at the University of Texas as they begin a new phase in their life of service to American youth. They go, I know, with the blessings of everyone here today. I also want to express my congratulations to Dr. Ladner, and I know that she will give committed and dedicated leadership to this great university.
I am especially pleased to be your convocation orator. I have wanted to be the commencement speaker at Howard University for a number of years, but this is my lucky years because, you know, now when you get to be a speaker at Howard University, you get a lot more attention than you used to get. I'm looking around for Miss Connie Chung, but she does not seem to have made it. In being a commencement speaker at any college is trying to figure out how long you're going to talk. If you ask the students, the answer is very, very simple. Talk for about 4 minutes and then sit down. Polls have been taken that show that 10 years after the event, 80% of all graduating students don't have a clue who their commencement speaker was. Well, you ain't gonna do that to me. The name is Powell. W-E-L-L. Now, the parents who are here today, the parents and family members behind you, they have a different view of this matter. They are arrayed in all their finery. They have waited a long time for this day, some of them not sure it would ever come. And they want it to last, so their advice to me is, go on, talk for about 2 or 3 hours. We brought lunch. We want our money's worth. The faculty member sitting up here over there somewhere who suggested me in the first place is nervous. He or she is hoping that the speech will be long enough to be respectable, but not so long that he has to take leave on Monday morning for a few weeks to escape the posse. So the poor commencement speaker is left with the original problem of how long to speak. And I have a simple rule. I respond to audience reaction. If you are appreciative and applaud loudly very early on, you get a nice short speech. Let's get serious, huh? I want to say a few words about the controversy that your campus has been embroiled in recent weeks. You know, this controversy has a positive side to it as well. It has caused this university family to go through a process of self-examination, and that is always a healthy thing to do. And since so many people have been giving advice to the Howard family about how to handle this matter, I thought I would give you a little advice as well. I'm good at giving advice to people. The first piece of advice is that I believe with all my heart that Howard must continue to serve as an institution of learning excellence where freedom of speech is strongly encouraged and rigorously protected. That is at the very essence and heart of a great university, and there is no doubt that Howard is a great university. And freedom of speech means permitting the widest range of views to be presented, however controversial those views may be. The First Amendment right of free speech is intended to protect the controversial and even the outrageous word, and not just comforting platitudes too mundane to need protection. Some say that by hosting controversial speakers who shock our sensibilities, Howard is in some way promoting or endorsing that message. Not at all. Howard has helped to put that message in perspective while protecting their right to be heard, so the message can be exposed to the full light of day for comment and criticism. I, for one, have every confidence in the ability of the administration and the faculty and the students of Howard University to determine who should speak on this campus. No outside help needed. Thank you very much. I also have complete confidence in the students of Howard to make informed, educated judgments about what you hear. But for this freedom to hear all views, you bear a burden to sort out wisdom from foolishness. There is great wisdom in the message of self-reliance, of education, of hard work, and of the need to raise strong families. But there is utter foolishness, there is evil, and there is danger in the message of hatred or of condoning violence, however cleverly the message is packaged or entertainingly it is presented. We must find nothing to stand up and cheer about or applaud in a message of racial or ethnic hatred. I was at the inauguration of President Nelson Mandela in South Africa earlier this week. You were there too by the magic of television, and together we experienced that remarkable event. Together we saw what can happen when people stop hating and begin reconciling. De Klerk, the jailer, became de Klerk, the liberator. And Mandela, the prisoner, became Mandela, the president. "27 years of imprisonment did not embitter Nelson Mandela. He invited his 3 jail keepers to the ceremony. He used his liberation to work with his former tormentors to create a new South Africa and to eliminate the curse of apartheid once and for all from the face of the earth. What a glorious example he is to us. What a glorious day it was." Last week, you also saw Prime Minister Rabin of Israel and PLO Chairman Arafat sign another agreement on their still difficult, long road to peace, trying to end hundreds of years of hatred and 2 generations of violence. And over the last 2 or 3 days, you have seen Palestinian authorities move back into the Gaza Strip and into the town of Jericho. In these 2 historic events in South Africa and the Middle East, intractable enemies have shown you how you can join hands and create a force of moral authority more powerful than any army, moral authority that can change the world. And although there are still places of darkness in the world where the light of reconciliation has not yet penetrated, these 2 beacons of hope show what can be done when men and women of goodwill work together for peace and for progress. There is a message in those 2 historic events for those of us assembled here today. As the world goes forward, we cannot start going backwards. African Americans have come too far, and we have too far yet to go to take a detour into the swamp of hatred. We as a people who have suffered so much from the hatred of others must not now show tolerance for any movement or any philosophy that has as its core the hatred of Jews or the hatred of any other group. Our future lies in the philosophy of love and understanding and caring and building, not of hating and tearing down. We know that, each and every one of us know that to the depth of our heart, and we must be prepared to stand up for it and speak up for it. We must not be silent if we would live up to the legacy of those who have gone before us from this campus. I have no doubt, my friends, that this controversy will pass, and Howard University will emerge even stronger, even more than ever, a symbol of hope, of promise, and of excellence. That is your destiny, I am sure. Ambassador Annenberg, one of your honorees today, is a dear friend of mine, and as you have heard, he is one of America's leading businessmen and greatest philanthropists. You have heard of his contributions to education and of his contributions to the school. A few years ago, I told Mr. Annenberg about a project I was involved in build a memorial to the Buffalo Soldiers, those brave black cavalrymen of the West. Their valor had long gone unrecognized, and I was anxious to do something to create a memorial in their honor. And I called my friend Walter, and he immediately responded and gave us the resources we needed to help build that memorial, which stands proudly at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas this very day. Those Buffalo Soldiers were formed in 1867 at the same time as Howard University. It is even said that your mascot, the bison, comes from the nickname for those soldiers, the Buffalo Soldiers. Both Howard and the Buffalo Soldiers owe their early success to the dedication and to the faith of white military officers of the Union Army who served in the Civil War. In Howard's case, of course, it was your namesake, Major General Oliver Howard. For the 10th Cavalry Buffalo Soldiers, it was Colonel Benjamin Grierson who formed and commanded that regiment for almost 25 years. And he fought for that entire period of time to achieve equal status for his black comrades. Together, for the last 127 years, Howard University and the Buffalo Soldiers have tried to show what black Americans were capable of when given the education, when given the opportunity, and when shown respect, and when accorded dignity. I stand here today as a direct descendant of those Buffalo Soldiers and of the Tuskegee Airmen and all the black men and women who have served the nation in uniform, all of whom who served in their time and in their way and with whatever opportunity existed at that time to break down the walls of discrimination and racism, to make the path easier for those of us who came after them. I climbed on their backs and I stood on their shoulders. I took advantage of the sacrifice they made to reach the top of my chosen profession, become chairman of the American Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I will never forget my debt to them. I didn't just show up. I climbed on the backs of those who never had the kind of opportunity that I had. I will never forget, and you must never forget, the debt we owe to those who came before us, and to the white Colonel Griersons and the white General Howards, and the distinguished Ambassador Annenbergs of the years who helped me over the 35 years of my life as a soldier.
What's going on over there?
I think it's under control, whatever it is. I think we're okay. Everybody okay up there? Let me know if you need me up there. And so, my friends, never forget the debt that you owe to the people who came before you. And those who came before me in the military would say to me now, if they were here, well done, and now let others climb on your shoulders. Howard's Buffalo Soldiers did the same thing, and on the shoulders of those who came before you now stand governors and mayors and congressmen and ROTC generals and doctors and artists, writers and teachers and leaders in every segment of American society. And they did it all for the class of 1994 so that you can continue climbing to reach the top of the mountain while always remembering to reach back and down to help those less fortunate. You face great expectations. Much has been given to you and much is expected from you. You have been given a quality education presented by a distinguished faculty who sit here today in pride of you. You have inquiring minds and strong bodies given to you by God and by your parents who sit behind you today and pass on to you all of their still unrealized dreams and ambitions. You have been given citizenship in a country like none other on earth, with opportunities available to you like nowhere else on earth, beyond anything that was available to me when I sat in a place similar to you 36 years ago. What will be asked of you is hard work. Nothing will be handed to you. You are entering a life of continuous study and struggle to achieve your goals, a life of searching to find that which you do well and which you love doing. Never stop seeking. I want you to have faith in yourselves. I want you to believe to the depth of your soul that you can accomplish any task that you set your mind and your energy and your heart to. I want you to be proud of your heritage. Study your origins. Teach your children racial pride and draw strength and inspiration from the culture of our forebears. Not as a way of drawing back from American society and its European roots, but as a way of showing that there are other roots as well, African and Caribbean roots, that are also a source of nourishment for the American family tree. To show that African Americans are more than a product of our slave experience, to show that our very backgrounds are as rich as that of any other American, not better or greater, but every bit as equal. Our black heritage must be a foundation stone we can build on, and not a place to withdraw into. I want you to fight racism, but remember, as Dr. King and President Mandela have taught us, racism is the disease of the racist. Never let it become yours. Racism is a disease that you can help cure by standing up for your rights and by your commitment to excellence and to performance, by being ready to take advantage of your rights and the opportunities that will come from those rights. Never, never let the dying hand of racism rest on your shoulder, weighing you down. Always let racism be somebody else's burden to carry in their heart. As you seek your way in the world, never fail to find a way to serve your community. Use your education and your success in life to help those still trapped in cycles of poverty and violence. Above all, never lose faith in America. Its faults are yours to fix, not to curse. America is a family. There may be differences and disputes within the family, but we must not allow the family to be broken into warring factions. From the diversity of our people, let us draw strength and not see weakness. Believe in America with all your heart and soul, with all of your mind. Remember that it remains the last best hope of earth. You are its inheritors, and its future is today placed in your hands. And so, my young friends, go forth from this place today, inspired by those who went before you. Go forth with the love of your families and the blessings of your teachers. Go forth to make this a better country, a better society, prosper, raise strong families, remembering that all you will leave behind at the end are your good works and your children. Go forth with my most humble but sincere congratulations. And always let your dreams be your only limitations, now and forever. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great life.